up, everyone? Welcome to the Life Jacket, where we talk about topics to help you get through those waves of life. I'm Bless,
And I'm AJ.
and as you guys know, we always start with the win of the week. So, for me, my win of the week, I have one more payment with those student loans. Thank God, and then I'll be done for the rest of my life. That's an Egypt I'll never see again. How about you, AJ?
Nah, that's cool. I actually pretty much decked out my patio, pretty much primarily from Facebook Marketplace furniture. So that was
Hey, tough.
cool. Trying to save some coin in this economy. It's real crazy out here. So that was a big win. I've been meaning to do it for like a couple years now, but I finally got it done. And so now we will introduce Bree, our guest. Bree, what is your win of the week?
Hey everybody, my win of the week is ironically getting myself off the edge of the cliff with an anxiety attack
Oh wow,
after
okay.
reading the first question on the list. So, this is definitely my big win. My therapy skills came in handy. So, 3 years of hard work and healing.
No, that's great. All right. So hard work, healing, love to hear it. So just for our audience, just tell them a little bit, about you.
Okay, my name is Bree. On social media, I usually go by Bree Angelique. I am a creative. I'm a mom to a 3-year-old. I am a student currently. I also work in the nonprofit sector in operations and events. Um, I'm a creative, and I be with the vibes. I be with
The vibes.
the vibes. Yes.
Okay. No, that's great. So growing up, how was like growing up with family? Did you grow up, you an only child, mother, father? What was that dynamic like?
So I am one of three. I'm the youngest of three
Okay.
girls, but all of my sisters, we have a large age gap. So I actually have the experience of being an only child, even though I'm not an only child. So grew up with my mom and my dad in the same house my whole life, which I think is pretty dope because a lot of people move around a lot, and so pretty stable, pretty solid.
Great. So I guess from an achievements standpoint, like what was it like growing up, kind of being valued for achievement while, like emotional expression and self-trust wasn't like really ingrained or supported for you?
Yeah, it was lonely. It was a lonely childhood. Growing up feeling like the love that you receive is dependent upon the achievements that you are able to accomplish. Um, it does not foster the best relationships as far as self expression or emotional development.
Mm.
It's really stunting in that way. And it provides a lot of pressure. For me, I think it was like a breeding ground for anxiety because as a child, you don't have the same language that you have as an adult. So, as an adult, I understand that my parents love me unconditionally, right? And they probably didn't mean to have that effect on me, but as a child, your day to day experience, it definitely gets lonely and it's difficult trying to be on all the time.
And how do you feel like that impacted like your self-worth and like your relationships like growing up?
No self worth growing up.
Mm.
And relationships were, I pursued relationships from a need based standpoint rather than from a standpoint of partnership and of something that I could offer. I was kind of searching for the type of love that I felt like I didn't get as a kid, but not even realizing that I was doing that. So as you can imagine, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess.
So when you say like hot mess,
Hmm.
do you want to like go into detail? Give
Yeah,
us an example. Yeah,
sure.
that'd be great.
Um, so let's see. What I realized in my healing is that I had a mother wound and a father wound. And so my dad, though he was present, he was very much so a provider, but emotionally unavailable. And then my mom, she was an overachiever. So to her, it's like, it's in you, so you should be able to produce type of thing, like produce the success, produce the excellence. So then when that comes to relationships and dating, love, I felt like was something that you earn through your actions and through how you show up every day rather than it just being a thing that you should be receiving. I also didn't really learn how to receive love well. And so, in a few of my relationships, I think that while in it, I thought that the other person was at fault. I'm realizing as I am maturing and growing and healing that I could have been a better partner in places as well. So it's just, you're living like a reality that is just so skewed from how it should be. And it takes intentionality to figure that out.
Mm. No, that's real. No, appreciate the vulnerability and honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take time to get that. So, on our podcast, we do talk about waves that maybe hit you in life and probably even almost made you drown. So we like to go into that vulnerability side of things. So, what type of wave or what wave do you think or know that hit you and you felt like it was kind of like that was the last wave for me type of thing?
Yeah. For me, that was college broadly, but specifically the aftermath of a sexual assault from college. Um, it's, hmm, that was a rough one. That was a rough one simply because I was a very private person in college. And like I just explained to you guys, I didn't really have I was emotionally immature. We'll say it like that, emotionally immature and not used to being vulnerable, not used to having spaces in which I can be vulnerable. So all I knew was just press until you figure it out, just push until you hit the goal. But what I did learn as a result of that wave is that sometimes you really just can't push anymore. You have to take a beat and you have to be able to express what is going on with you. Um, and that was a very long process. So in college, my grades started plummeting, which was new for me because I had been so used to achieving. And I was at an honors university in Maryland. When your school puts that in the tagline, it's serious, okay? So I was at an honors university in Maryland. I was struggling really badly. I was surrounded by people because at that point I had already joined my sorority. The person who assaulted me was a close friend that I met through my chapter sisters. And so it was a lot. It felt like I was boxed in and I didn't really have a way out. Um, so, yeah, that was definitely the wave.
No, no, I appreciate that. Did you have anything else, Bless, or did you say anything else?
No, no, no.
Oh no, no, I appreciate you the vulnerability, sharing that. It sounds like you were kind of carrying this trauma
Mm-hmm.
for a while. So what was it like carrying this trauma quietly for so long?
Mm. Um, hmm. What was it like? It looked like everyday life. It from the outside looking in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would never know. It's smiles, jokes. I'm a very funny person, okay? And I know people who say that usually aren't, but like for real, I'm funny. So I think that a lot of my humor comes from trauma and it comes from pain and it comes from uh, just trying to be optimistic and find a silver lining. So that's what it looks like from the outside in. But from the inside out, a dysregulated nervous system, disassociated from like the present. Um, it just looks like coping, like
Mm.
a
Mm-hmm.
lot of coping. And from the outside looking in, it seems like that's just my personality, right? But there are a lot of parts of my personality that are, they were created from trauma. So,
Mm. I one follow up is it's funny. I feel like black people, like we our trauma, we use humor. That's a thing.
yeah.
I do too. Like we have to joke about it, and I don't know if
Yeah.
that's just like a black thing or not. But like I have realized that like we take humor,
Yeah.
we take humor from that, and then the second thing you talked about, like you said, it was like personalities that
Mhm.
came from that. Like, do you mind diving a little bit more into that?
Of course.
Yeah.
I was a very sensitive person growing up. And I felt like as a result of being hurt in lots of ways from many different people, I needed to be less of that. So it turned into like a hard body type of personality where that's really not me. I'm soft. I'm
Mm-hmm.
super soft. But I try to give like a more like a harder shell just to protect. I don't actually find a lot of things in life actually funny, but but I am able to make a joke or make light of certain things. What else? My personality. I smoke, so that's another thing. I smoke
Cool.
weed, right?
Mhm.
Like stoner vibes. But
Nah, that's
I
good.
genuinely don't feel like that would have gotten to that extent if it wasn't for all the things that I'm trying to like keep at bay. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
in my mind. Um, because I live a life where I just have to be able to interact with other people. And so that was kind of just like my way to buffer. So little things like that could really be
Okay.
anything.
Absolutely. So I've got a question. Do you feel like you change your approach to certain people and like kind of like because it seems like you have like a kind of different types of personalities and where you're kind of attacking people, and you mentioned in regards to like that shell that you put on,
Hmm.
is there like how do you allow for that shell to be broken or for you to open yourself up to certain people? Like how does those things, your mind and your process and thought process, how does that kind of look like for you?
It takes time for me. It takes time. The thing I value the most in people is consistency. Um, and it's because consistency makes me feel safe. So if I feel like you're someone who has been one way, like, and it doesn't even have to be a specific kind of way, but if you are your way for a long enough time, I'll feel comfortable opening up to you. And I'm also, while I have different, I call it code switching. Like it's code switching, but it's not the traditional sense. It's just reading the room and
Mhm.
adjusting to it. So for me, if I feel that I can be my regular self around you, like I'll test it out. Like you'll get little pieces,
Mhm.
and like how you respond to those pieces determines how I reveal myself to you, or if I choose to reveal myself to you.
No, that's that's important. I find that too. Like I think just even general, even like I'll take myself for example. Like it's so hard to be your authentic self up front
Mhm.
nowadays, especially like, if you've been hurt or like you've been through something traumatic. And
Mhm.
I know a lot of times people want you like to be the yo, just be yourself up front, be authentic person. I was like, I don't know about all
Oh.
that. You might got wait a little bit for all that because, like you said, I think it's just the fear of like getting hurt, people looking at you crazy or looking at you different. So like I get that perspective of just like I'll give you a little bit and see how that works.
Mhm.
Do you feel as though how's it been for like dating?
Hmm. So I admittedly have not like dated a lot of people. Like I have been in situationships
Hmm.
a lot in college, and I think that is partially just the times and like the age group that you are when you're in college, but then also just my own traumas and things. So when it comes to formal like dating, I've only really dated one person in my adulthood.
Wow.
And so yeah, crazy to say. But yes, I've only really dated one person, and he I think that it went well, and I think that I was naively vulnerable in that relationship, and it turned into a situation where like certain things were kind of used against me. So now that I have been intentionally single for like 3 years, I've learned myself again. And I was actually just talking to my best friend about this today. I was telling him that like it's kind of scary. It's scary to be vulnerable and to let someone really get to know you. Like that's terrifying. So, while I desire that level of intimacy and I know that you can't get that level of intimacy without giving the vulnerability, I don't know when that's going to happen. I really I really don't know where that's going to happen. Um Having your pain points used against you in a romantic relationship that used to feel safe is its own trauma in and of
Yeah. No,
itself.
totally agree. So I think I know now more or less you're on your healing journey now. You've talked about like um, faith, therapy, um, your child. So how has all of that helped you in your healing journey?
So it all really folds on top of each other. So with my faith journey, I was raised Baptist. So I grew up in Israel Baptist Church for anybody who is familiar with the DC area. And in growing up Baptist, there's certain expectations that are on you. I got baptized really young when I was like 7. So it's kind of like performative. I feel when you grow up in the church, your religion starts performative, and then you go through life, and if you're blessed enough, you come back to God in a more genuine
Mm-hmm.
and authentic and like intimate way. And so my journey through that, actually, I went into tarot and like oracle and like the occult and stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the beginning, and that kind of helped me understand where I was in life. And it helped me begin journaling and meditating and praying and doing yoga, going on nature walks, like the whole just calming my nervous system back down. Then I got pregnant. And so, somewhere in that pregnancy journey, I decided to go back to therapy because I was like, I now understand what traumas are and generational curses are, and I don't want to pass any of this down to my kids. So then that got me back into therapy where I could learn the tools, learn the language. I'd spent a lot of time in that therapy chapter of my life in emotional identification. So, like, taking a beat, figuring out what I'm feeling, putting the actual words to those feelings, then figuring out how to express those feelings. Because again, if you don't grow up doing this, it's very difficult to learn as an adult. So I would say therapy helped me just get the language. And then being a mother, that really put everything into action. It wasn't theory anymore. It was like, okay, we're doing this, we're live. How do we keep this little baby from being traumatized? So, um, yeah, I would say everything is building together. And then through this whole journey, I kind of healed my college wound and went back to school. So it's all working out.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And just to go back, so you were in college, then you left.
Yeah, I actually got academically dismissed
Mm,
from UMBC.
okay.
And then I dropped out. And
Mhm.
after that, I didn't care about college anymore. It just felt like, oh, it's not for me. It is what it is. I don't need it. And I just went down like an entrepreneurial, creative route
Mhm.
from there.
Well, first off, kudos to you.
Thank
It's a
you.
marathon, not a sprint. You're
Yeah.
so it's okay to be like, hey, college wasn't cool now. Let me take a little bit of break and go back. So no, just want to applaud you for like going back and
Thank you.
pursuing your degree.
Yeah. Do you think having like a baby, having a little one, having a little human have to depend completely on you? Do you think that kind of put you into like a sink or swim type of mode where like, darn, I just got to grab this life jacket regardless if I want to even stay afloat myself? And
Mm-hmm.
how did that kind of how did I get? Because I'm assuming that like your mindset switched a little bit, where like, damn, it's not just about me, but it's about me and the little one. So how did you kind of go through that process?
Yeah. So it first started in therapy. I think I touched on it a little bit earlier, but I was very disassociated after the trauma that happened in college. It's the best way I can explain it is that my my spirit and my body just were not aligned. Like
Mhm.
one was very far away from the other. So while I was seemingly present in moments, I just really wasn't. And so being pregnant forced me back in my body, if that makes any sense to you guys. So it kind of forced me to be back here, be present again, start thinking about like, well, what does my life look like and what do I want it to look like and how do I bridge the two? Having my daughter, I have her completely to thank for that because I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. You
For
know what I
real,
mean? Like
nah, it's
I
cool.
really don't. And so having her looking just like me and relying on me for everything absolutely turned me up. It brought the dog back out because I got the dog in me. She in there, but she was taking a nap for a really long time. But now, yeah, we back at it. Hmm.
You know, there's a I've heard this too from people when they say like, you know, having a kid really changed their life.
Hmm.
It really just saved them. So it sounds like that was a blessing
Yeah.
for you. Just to go back to the therapy, How did therapy impact your life?
It's phenomenal. I'm the biggest advocate of therapy ever. For every phase I've gone through post college, I have had a therapist. So I moved out of state with my ex, and that was right after college, right after he graduated. That was my first time leaving the state, so I had a therapist then. When I broke up with him and moved back home, called off an engagement, all the things, I had a therapist then. And then when I got pregnant, I had a therapist, and now I have a therapist now. I'm on my third session. So therapy, for someone who does not have the ideal relationship with my parents, like being able to just call them up and feel comfortable talking about anything, and then not really having that with my sisters either. And this is not to like shit on
No,
anybody,
it's
but
cool.
I just feel more comfortable as a person when I'm private. And so I've always been that way, even as a kid. And so therapy gives me an opportunity to have a soundboard and to kind of check in with myself, but then also to get perspective that doesn't feel like it's coming from an attacking standpoint. So,
And then one more question, I'll kick it to
mhm.
Bless. What was I gonna say? I'm not nosy or anything,
No, you're fine.
but how difficult was it to call off an engagement?
Terribly difficult. I'm a recovering people pleaser. So it was very, very, very
Same.
hard.
I've been
It was
there.
very hard. Mm, it's one of those moments where you kind of just realize how strong you are. Because I was like, nobody's gonna advocate for me but me, so I'm gonna have to just do this and let it be what it is. But it was very difficult.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
I can imagine.
Have you called off an engagement?
I have
Oh,
not. That's
okay.
why I was like, that sounds like I know someone who actually did,
Yeah,
and he was like, yeah, when he told her,
yeah.
you could tell like her soul left her body. She was so caught off. It was bad. It was bad.
It's the worst feeling
It's
ever.
tough. Yeah, it's that's why I take my time when it's got to make sense.
Hmm.
As my friends would say, it's got to make sense. But yeah, no, like if you felt as though, hey, this ain't working, so somebody get heartbroken, I guess. I'm sure he didn't take it well at all.
No, hell no. He didn't
He's
take.
probably fucking
Yeah.
pissed.
Hmm.
Straight up.
Yeah, he did not take it well. But the thing is, though, and I hope that like any woman listening to this really understands that it is what it is. Like it is what it is. Like if if your heart isn't in it, if it's not really working, if it's just performative, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Because people will fight for things just because it's what they know. People will fight for things because it's comfortable, but that doesn't mean that that's where you need to be. And if you know that, you gotta live in your truth. So,
Facts.
That's a bar. Bar.
So I did listen a little bit, well, a lot of it, and mentioned therapy, different therapists. Was it,
mhm.
if I'm
Yeah.
mistaken? Yeah, different. So, in my question, when you look back at like the therapists that you did have, did they have different approaches to like help you? And do you have like one that was like better than the others and got you maybe a little bit further in like your mental stability?
Yeah, absolutely. I will never forget my therapist. Her name is Dominique. And this is the therapist I had when I was pregnant. She was helping me navigate the breakup. And she was just telling me, listen, there's things that you can say and there's things that you should say. And you should really only focus on the things that you should say, not the things that you can't say. Usually, you're going to have to apologize for the things that you said that you could have said, but you'll never have to
Mhm.
apologize for the things that you should say. So,
Mm.
that one for sure. Because when I'm hot, when I'm mad,
Are you going?
oh, I'm going. Although I'm already there. What do you mean? I'm going. I'm already there.
Yeah, you gonna say what's on your chest. It don't matter.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So for someone who I would say that's watching this that feels stuck in their survival mode, where would you suggest they even start? Like what's something they could start today, implement like right now to kind of get them a little bit going instead of not just feeling like they're in survival mode.
I have two answers. One is my like genuine bottom of the heart answer, which is prayer. Pray. Pray now. Pray today. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Start now. For real. Because like there's no there's no time frame, there's no time limit on prayer. Like you just talk to God. But if you are not religious, because I understand that everybody is not religious, you have to be able to self assess. A self assessment, I think, is always number one. I made a workbook called Get in the Field, and that's literally step one. You have to be able to sit and acknowledge, okay, where am I at? Not how you feel about where you're at, not what you want to be. Don't glamorize it. Like, you literally have to, okay, I'm living in my parents' house. Don't really want to do that. I want to live by myself. So, okay, cool. How do we make the steps to get there? Survival mode for me is a lot of mental spinning and like having a lot of desires and not really having a lot of plans and not really knowing the steps to take to get there or having
Mhm.
large goals and not the steps in between. But you have to know where you are to know how to get to where you want to go.
And I heard you say an assessment book. Where can they find that at?
You said what?
You say you make create an assessment book.
Oh,
Where can
yeah.
they find that at?
A workbook. It's on my Gumroad, so I will just give you the link.
We'll put the link in our private
Yeah.
episode. Hey
Yes.
man, we going. Hey, somebody listening. You never know. I got at least put it out there for you.
Yeah.
For sure. I guess my next question for you is, hmm, what's been the hardest part about healing?
Hmm. Humility. Humility has been the hardest part. I didn't even realize that like that was an issue for me until I started healing because when you start ripping away like your comfort layers and you start exposing like who you really are, um you can stay there or you can change it. And I had to apologize to a couple people. Um I like I said earlier was a people pleaser, kind of like a pushover, just extra nice. And when I was healing, I went way opposite that. So like I went, as my therapist would say, I went from white to black when life really should be lived in the gray. Um, so in that phase of my life where I was not taking any shit from anybody, I was kind of nasty to a few people. So I think having that balance and paying your karmic debt is part of healing. Um, and so that was the hardest part. Yeah, and dealing with the emotions that come up when you peel back some of these layers and start diving into why you are the way that you are.
No, that's fair. And like, what has it been like to express yourself and open yourself up more freely and open? Because you weren't like that prior. So what's that been like?
It's fun now. It's really fun now. But it was scary at first. I felt like I was gonna lose all the people that were around me if I started being bigger, being louder, being more direct, being more demanding, being more of a tight ass about the type of energy that I want around me. I was really kind of scared I was going to lose everybody. But I think it's because I kind of painted myself into this corner, at least in my mind, because I wasn't showing up as my authentic self. I was boxed into like a mask, if that makes sense. And so just helping people understand who I actually am required a lot of patience. But showing up for myself feels really, really good. It feels really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, and I've been there too. Especially as I got older, like and like even Bus can tell you, like I definitely was very, very like quiet, timid growing up, and then like I could hit a complete 180. Like I'm like a totally different person than I was prior. But like it does, some people like it,
Mm-hmm.
some people don't. Like a lot of people have a very hard time seeing someone grow.
Yeah.
They expect you to be the same person you've always been like your whole life, and then once they see you change, they're kind of like, "Whoa, you're doing this," and
Mm-hmm.
when you start sticking up for yourself, oh, you don't, because I used to be a people pleaser too. Like, oh, you don't people please anymore. You're not just gonna do whatever. So, yeah, it could be a little intimidating for some people, but I think your real friends will be like, they'll see the change, and the ones that aren't your real friends, they'll be like, oh, they're acting different.
Yeah.
Oh, like, oh, they're changing, and it's like, no, I'm just the
Growing
person.
up.
Yeah, I'm just growing up. I'm the person who I'm supposed to be, and I probably always wanted to be, but this was little. I wasn't there, but now I'm there. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like sometimes it's bigger than just friends. So for me, I'm very family oriented. So I remember when I first started stepping into like a more present and demanding, for lack of better words, personality, like just getting more true to myself. My family blamed it on my relationship. And so in their eyes, it was like, oh, this relationship is changing you. Like, this is
mhm.
so negative. Get this man out of here. And it's just like, no, girl, I'm actually feeling empowered to be
Mhm.
myself. Like, nice to meet you, Stink.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, I definitely agree with AJ and you. Like when you grow, I think the people don't understand. Like if you have a seed and you plant it, the seed's not going to look like the seed the whole time. It's going to
Yeah.
grow into whatever it is, whether it's a tree, whether it's a flower. You know, a baby, the same thing. A baby's not going to stay a baby forever. They're going to grow into the human that they're adult that they're supposed to be. So I think that's the change that people. It's hard for people to actually accept. And the best thing, at least for me personally, is like, hey, I put my best foot forward and I have no regrets in the person that I am. And it's like, if you can't accept that, then so be it. I
Yeah.
think a lot of times growing up, especially in like our range, now we're really becoming like those adults that we're supposed to be. And we're like the in the developmental stage of those adults we're supposed to be that people just can't gravitate to the fact that oh this person's doing better than me or this person is starting a life faster than me or whatever the case may be. And so it's just highly important because the person you are now is now going to be creating that foundation for like the rest of your life. Like we're no
Mm-hmm.
longer depending on mommy or whatever the case may be. So it's like this is where I think once you find friends and family that are really supporting you, now it's going to be the ones that are most likely, I would assume, be there like forever. Like, so it's like
Yeah.
now you're just getting rid of those extra roots that's hanging on those tree branches. And then you're just being the person that you're being. Like,
Yeah.
that, in my mind, it's just a big thing of, hey, my best foot is my best foot is forward. And if you're either walking with me or you're not.
100%. 100%. Because I'm not convincing anybody to do anything at
Yeah.
this
Fuck
point.
no.
Like, girl, you either here or you not. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Best of luck. And if you're not, God bless. I don't know. That's it.
Nah, real shit. I'm not convincing nothing.
Nathan.
Nah, I'm not doing none of that. Nah, I feel that. What would you say to a black woman who feels like they have to carry everything on their own by themselves?
You absolutely do not have to do that. And stop. Like now. Stop now. And if you, well, I guess I can't say that because not everybody has the right people around them. So that kind of changes my whole answer. I would say content. I tell everybody to make content. Why? Because it's free. Like, just do it. Creating helps to free a certain part of your mind, and it helps as like therapy and as a way to express the things that are going on with you. And I think I'm of the belief that everyone has natural talents. I can't tell you what your talent is, but you think about it long enough, you'll figure out what your talent is and just turn that into some type of concept for creation. Um, I say content also because that is the way that a lot of people are meeting people. It's a way that a lot of people are identifying their community. Um, I think that it's very limiting to think that all the people you'll know in life and all the people that will matter in your life you grew up with. Like, that's not true. And so in this day and age, people are finding partners on apps, people are finding friends on apps, we find our jobs on apps. There's no reason to think that you are the only person going through something. And there's no reason to think that you can't find a way to connect with the people that are going through what you're going through. The best way to do that is a reel, a TikTok, a hashtag. You don't even have to make the content. You can just search the content. Like these social media platforms work similarly to Google. So if you are going through, I don't know, let's say narcissistic abuse, because I feel like that's very common. Type that in, and I guarantee you'll find your community. It's that simple. And so a lot of people, when they are going through a lot of things, sometimes they self isolate. And that's just a very easy way to have a very controllable interaction with somebody who could be going through what you're going through.
That is a great answer. I've never thought about like just content.
Content.
And I remember, and I cannot think of her name. I met her on a camping trip in August, and she actually lives out here in the DMV. Um, she has 3 kids, single mother, got divorced, and she was saying how like she just made content about it, and now she's got like 180,000
Oh
followers.
my
You,
God, the Bookie Butt girl.
Bookie, but yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
love
yeah. I actually
her.
met her randomly on a
Oh
camping trip. I
my
met
God.
her randomly on a, and she's actually cool. I actually saw her at like it's like Peculiar Travel. He actually was on the
Yeah.
podcast. He does like annual trips. People come to trips, and I met her on the trip. And she was telling me like, yeah, like I had 3 kids with an older man, and like we split up, and I really just started making content, and now it's like I live off this full time. I live on this full time. So that's what made me think of that. I'm like, that's actually a very real thing. Literally just picking up a camera, and you don't know who your community is. And now she was like, yeah, like I do this full time. I don't work. I'm like, yo, that's really, really dope. Bookie, but I
Yeah.
cannot think of her
Bookie
name.
Butt. I can't either,
Think of
but
her
that's
name.
my
She's
girl.
cool. She's
Yes.
actually mad cool. Like
Yes.
when I've got to meet her. So yeah, I thought about content. Like, yeah, you can really take your what you're going through and get in front of the
And do
camera, and
it.
you can make a whole community. You just never know.
Absolutely. I think there is a beauty in it because when I started my podcast, the Late Night Laundromat, nowhere near as consistent as you guys. So giving you your flowers right now. Go y'all.
Yeah, appreciate you.
But when I started it, it was literally because I was in an in between, and I felt like a lot of people don't like to film the in between. And so when you are going through something, that is literally the perfect time to let somebody into your journey, because a lot of people feel like you either have to be at the start or at the end in order to be impactful. But I truly believe the real impact is in the middle. So, yeah.
That's dope. No, that's cool. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Let me see if we got anything else. What do you hope listeners take away from your story?
Hmm. That you can do whatever you want to do. There's no rules to life. There's not any rules to life. There's no rules to healing. There's no rules to life. There's no rules to really anything. You get to set your own rules. And the game is really not over until you stop playing. Like, I have pivoted so many times, and I'm only 31, and I feel like I've lived at least 7 lives. Like, and you could probably find an Instagram and a YouTube channel to go along with every single life that I have lived. But as long as you don't give up on yourself, you have time. You have time to figure it out. Be nice to yourself. Give yourself grace. Just figure that shit out.
Yeah, I feel like if you're, I get that though, because if you're hard on yourself, because I'm very hard on myself,
Yeah.
I'm like, I think it's just what's it called? Like the Virgo perfectionism. It's a term. Yeah, I'm a Virgo. It's like a real thing. Don't make that face. It's like a real thing. Like I see it
Yeah.
in myself. I'm so hard on myself. It's like ridiculous. So even my time, even I have found myself needing to give myself a little bit of grace too.
Mhm.
'Cause I'm like I can get like that.
But it's like, why though? Like,
I don't
why be
know.
like that to yourself?
I
Because
know it's hard.
other people are going to do it for you. Anywhere you go, whether it's a job, you're going to have a manager. They're going to critique you. If you're in a relationship, you're going to have a partner. They're going to critique you. If you're religious, you have guidelines you have to follow under that. Like, there are, in every realm of your life, there's going to be somebody that's like, hey, let's do this better. Hey, did you think about this? So for you, always have the balance, but then like just be nice to yourself. Like, you know what? We didn't do that great this time, but we gonna get them next time. You don't need to be the person that's like, all right, AJ, da 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 da. Like, you don't have to do that to yourself. Be nice. It's okay. It's
I'm
okay.
gonna note that for real.
We're all living for the first time. It's okay. This shit is live. Be nice.
Well, that's a bar. We're all living for the
Yeah.
first time. Sheesh.
Yeah. No matter what you're
Yeah.
doing, no matter how long you've been doing it, you're still living for the first time.
That's a bar. Nah, that's cool. No, this was great. Bless you. Have any follow ups? Any questions for Brie?
She said pretty much everything. Yeah, I just think that you know there's that balance at the end of the day, but the
Mhm.
best critique could be yourself because you have your own expectations, and but you also know you is better than everybody else to know you. So, like she
Mhm.
did say, there's there's so many different avenues that or people that can have their own opinion, but your opinion is the best one. And yeah, I know you do the affirmations on a daily basis, like the "I am great," I am, so that's also going to help the critique because what
Yeah.
you're saying and putting it out there into the universe is what you're going to actually be. So I definitely really did appreciate this podcast and like listening to like you being a loner and then you coming out of your shell and smiling. Like I'm pretty sure you wouldn't was like smiling like, when you were going through all those troubles and things. So,
No.
God's
Mm.
grace is like
Mhm.
the biggest thing we can, depend on and be thankful for at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, this was dope. So, where can they find you at?
You can
Businesses,
find me.
socials, anything. Put it out there.
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at Fearless Pulse, and you can find me on YouTube at the Late Night Laundromat. My Gumroad, I'll send it to you guys, so the
Yeah,
link
put
can
in the
be
link.
below. But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, and if you're looking for a church home, crossoverchurch.tv every Sunday at 11.
I have to tune
Okay,
in.
okay.
Yeah.
I was going to Union.
Ah,
Yeah,
a
but that
lot of
was
people.
yeah, but then I kind of it's nothing wrong with it, but
Hmm.
I just wound up going like a little Hopeville, a little smaller church. I
Hmm.
felt like Union was just so big, it was
Yeah.
huge, and it was just so many people. I wanted like a little smaller.
Yeah. So our services are intimate. We have two locations, one in Hyattsville, one in Odenton. But
Okay,
if you want to do it online, it's crossoverchurch.tv.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right, Bree, this was fantastic. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for coming on the podcast. And you have any final thoughts? Anything else you want to say?
Thanks for having me. It was nice to meet you, Bless. I love the
Absolutely.
podcast. Please keep the consistency up. Hopefully, year three, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
And Bless, she said something about how. What did you say before you came up here about how?
Black men should not have microphones. Is that it?
Yes.
And then
Oh
I
yeah, I know.
edited
Yeah.
and I was like, it's just men in general that shouldn't have microphones. But y'all are being responsible podcasters, and I genuinely appreciate it. This was really great.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, I have felt like I feel like consistency that what you talked about earlier about
Yeah.
consistency in a part. And I feel like consistency is like the superpower, especially like as we do the podcast. Everybody tells us like y'all are so consistent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, like that's it's actually on my whiteboard. That's my word of the year, consistency. I try to be consistent in like
Good.
everything I do. So
Consistency builds credibility.
it does.
Mhm.
Bars, bars.
Mhm.
All right. Well, until next time.
Until next time. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. All right, we're done. Bless. I'll call you when I leave.
That
Word.
was
I'll call you.
great.
All right. Appreciate it.